If you've been watching my YouTube channel, you realize that I am into politics and very interested in the whole process and interested in history. And as a result, I have posted a host of videos from the Obama administration, the Clinton administration, the Trump administration. I'm working on getting some things up from both Bush administrations. And there are things from Nixon. And I will post things from different senators on both sides of the aisle. And I'll post some things from that the Republicans have produced, some things the Democrats have produced. The other day I posted something that was extremely critical of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. And on Twitter, someone asked me if that video conveyed my personal opinion. I sent back a tweet that said, nope. I love DeVos. I think she'll do great. I think we need to get government out of education, at least at the federal level. The Department of Education violates the 9th and 10th Amendments to the Constitution, say that anything that's not specifically given to Congress and to the federal government in the Constitution belongs to the states. And thus education ought to be left to the states, to the parents, to local communities. And that's my understanding, that's my belief. And I believe that such would greatly enhance our educational system. You can think of those who were trained in the country, Thomas Edison and Abraham Lincoln and others who were produced long before we had the public education system we have now. But I didn't start this video to discuss my views about public education. It dawned on me through that tweet that I post a lot of things on my blog, I put sermons up, I tweet many things, I put many things on my YouTube channel. But I've never really taken the time to tell you who I am. And I thought through this week I would do some videos and just tell you a little bit about who I am. First, my name is pronounced Justin Imel, long I. Story is my grandfather, my father's father, served in World War II. And at that time the family pronounced the name Imel. His commanding officer said that Imel sounded too German whom we were fighting in World War II. And he said that the name would henceforth be Imel, at least in the military, and it stuck with my grandfather at least. His brothers always pronounced it Imel. My side of that family tree says Imel. Little interesting history. The Imels were brought from Germany during the Revolutionary War to serve as Haitian soldiers. My 5th great grandfather, Peter Imel, is said to have gone AWOL from the British troops from that side and joined the Revolution, and he served, it is said, under General Morgan's regiment as a drummer boy. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's an extremely interesting story and one that's been handed down from generation to generation in my family. I was raised in Kentucky, born and raised there. I am a huge Kentucky basketball fan. I love Kentucky basketball. And it is a heartbreak to me anytime that they lose. My family sometimes gets very tickled at me the way that I am so into the game, and Mom sometimes texts me and when the game is close and said we might lose this. Well, I don't respond because that kind of aggravates me. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. I graduated in 1992 from Montgomery County High School in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. I then went to International Bible College in Florence, Alabama. Graduated salutatorian with my BA in Bible in 1996. I then moved to Pikeville, Kentucky to serve as the youth minister for the Main Street Church of Christ. And it was there that I met and married my wife, the former Tammy McKinney. After we married, we moved to work with the Owensville Church of Christ in Owensville, Kentucky, very close to my hometown. And it was while we were working there that my first child, Randall Justin Imel II, RJ, was born. We moved from Owensville, Kentucky in 2000, when RJ was 2, to work with the Alum Creek Church of Christ in Alum Creek, West Virginia. After we had been there about a year, our second son, Wilson Cromwell Imel, Will, named for Ronald Wilson Reagan, was born shortly after September the 11th, 2001. After serving there 10 years, my family and I moved to Florence, Alabama, where I was social media director and an associate professor at Heritage Christian University. We loved Florence and the university and intended to stay there forever. But because of budget cutbacks, I was let go and we moved to Roanoke, Virginia, to work with the Del Ridge Church of Christ, where I served for about 3 years. After about 3 years working with the Del Ridge Church, my health declined to an extent that I could no longer work as a full-time minister. I am now on Social Security disability. I had seen different neurologists over the years for walking difficulties. And every neurologist would throw his or her hands in the air and say, "I have no idea what is wrong with you." That was after test, after test, after test, after test. When I moved to Roanoke, I was doing well. But after being here a year and a half, I began to develop some problems. I went to my family physician, gave me a physical, and said, "I really think that you have MS," and sent me to a neurologist. The neurologist at first thought that I had hereditary spastic paraplegia, HSP, a rare genetic disorder. And it turns out that I have another rare genetic disorder from both the tests I have had done and the neurological exams that he has performed. He has diagnosed me with dystonia, and it's amazing to me that I went to neurologist after neurologist after neurologist, and this neurologist examines me, does some reflexes and other things, and says, "Here's what you have. Here's how we can treat it." And honestly, that has caused some anger on my part that I've had to deal with and overcome. Anger directed toward those past neurologists who spent so much time, and I had to spend so much money and traveling and very painful tests and exams, muscle biopsies while I'm awake and pulling a piece of muscle out of my leg when it was unnecessary. And in fact, that doctor's exam notes show that that test was unnecessary, and that caused a whole lot of anger on my part, but I've dealt with that and been able to overcome it. To help supplement my Social Security income, I have this blog and this YouTube channel. And I try to work as much as I am able to raise money for my family. I am also with World Bible Institute, where I serve as their Director of Technology and as an instructor. And I am writing a book at the present time on love for WBI, titled tentatively The Badge of Love. It will be a Bible curriculum series to work with local congregations that they can use in their Bible classes. Several of us instructors are writing those manuals to be used by local congregations of God's people. It has been an honor to serve in the Lord's church, and it's a very huge honor for me to work at WBI. Throughout this week, I'll be sharing a few little tidbits about me, some things that you probably don't know. Until tomorrow, God bless.